Hello students, welcome again. Students, in one of my previous video lectures, I have discussed feminism, its types and three waves of feminism. Today, we want to discuss ecofeminism, which is also known as feminist eco-criticism, which is a different and latest movement or theory of English literature. So today we want to discuss how this movement origined. We will discuss the definition and types of ecofeminism in this lecture. So now let me begin from the beginning. The term ecofeminism actually came in 1974. Remember the name, the French writer Francoise de Eubon, when she published her book Feminisme ou la Mort. Okay, now this is a French title. If you translate this French into English, then the title is Feminism or Death. In this book, for the first time, we come across this term ecofeminism, and this book basically deals with the idea of addressing the environmental issues and the gender issues. See, here there is a difference. What is feminism? Feminism is a branch of knowledge which talks about the equality between men and women, right? So, feminism addresses only gender issues, but what is ecofeminism? Ecofeminism addresses two issues, gender issues and at the same time environmental issues. Why? Because if you have listened to my another video on eco-criticism, I have discussed that also, right? So ecofeminism is actually a combination of eco-criticism and feminism. Here we talk about two issues. Ecology means the balance between man and nature, and we also talk about the gender issues, equality, the balance between man and women. So ecofeminism, in short, you can try to understand like in this manner. Ecofeminism is the latest theory. It is a latest ideology developed by some critics and thinkers. It is the latest movement which examines how the operation of women is interlinked to the operation of nature. You see, like women have been subjugated, women have been oppressed by men since ages, right? Men have been dominant all the time, right from the olden times. In the same manner, man has always, in the process of civilization, man has oppressed and exploited nature also, right? So the manner in which man has come out as an exploiter of nature, in the same manner man has come out as an exploiter of women, right? So the whole patriarchal structure has been exploiting women as well as nature, right? So ecofeminism is actually a movement in which we talk about we talk in favor of women, in favor of environment, and in favor of all the marginalized groups, right? So this term was then widely accepted as a literary theory after 1980s and 1990s. Okay, so many scholars of literature and many environmentalists, they also joined hands together in order to make this voice greater. So environmentalists and the scholars of literature, they joined hands together to make it a huge movement in literature and also in ecology. So the question is, how did it get popularity, right? So there are two incidents which you should remember. One incident is about the Chipko movement. Have you heard about the Chipko movement, which began in 1970s, right? You look at this picture. this Chipko movement was actually a movement started by some women who wanted to save nature. You know, deforestation was taking place all around the world. People were cutting the trees, right, in order to build the buildings and bridges and all. So forest was being exploited by the modern man. So there was a group of women who started this Chipko movement. They used to embrace the tree, and they were not allowing anyone to cut the tree. So this Chipko movement started in 1974. Okay, and in the recent times, if you talk about the 21st century, we have some major leaders, social leaders like Medha Patkar, C.K. Janu, Mahasweta Devi, Arundhati Roy. Okay, these are some thinkers and writers of modern India, 21st century India. They have also played important role in several eco-feminist movements throughout the country, and this is how ecofeminism began. Okay, second important movement which gives rise to ecofeminism is the Green Belt movement, which happened in Kenya. Okay, in 1977, there were some people, there were some women who protested against the government. They wanted to save the forest, they wanted to save their green land, green fields. Okay, why? Because the moment you do the deforestation, to cut the trees, women were losing their own jobs, right? Because they were already working in the fields, they were working in the farms, and the farms were turned into buildings. So as a result, they were busy in they were facing problems of food, they were facing monitorial problems also. So these women also started in Kenya, they started this Green Belt movement. You can see these two pictures, right? So these two movements gave rise to the branch of knowledge known as ecofeminism. Now the next question that comes to us is, why do we need ecofeminism? Okay, what is the importance of ecofeminism, right? So like other branches of feminism, ecofeminism also talks about the equality between all genders in the society, man and women. Okay, ecofeminism mainly examines and analyzes the relationship between the gender and our environment, how men are serious about maintaining the ecology, and how women are serious about that. Okay, so they believe in Warren's dictum. This dictum is very popular, this sentence: nature is a feminist issue. Why? Because if you translate the word nature, it is prakriti. Prakriti is what? It is a female noun, right? So nature has been exploited by modern man, and symbolically you can say man is exploiting the woman. Why? Because nature is a feminine gender, right? Colentis has also advocated for the importance of ecofeminism. Mark these words: the IPCC is what? International Panel on Climate Change. Okay, in 21st century we are much concerned about the climate change, right? So the IPCC found that gender inequalities are further exaggerated by climate related hazards, right? Because we are disturbing nature, we are disturbing our planet. In that manner, we are disturbing the higher workloads for women also. Okay, as a result of this imbalance between man and nature, the workload of women increases, occupational hazards indoors and outdoors, psychological and emotional stress, and higher morality compared to men. So, compared to men, women's workload increases because of the imbalance between man and nature. So, as a result of this, IPCC's comments, we can say that the ecofeminism is very important. Now, who are the major ecofeminist Indian writers? You can see these names: R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao. If you read these novels, they have actually written novels in 1950s, 60s. At that time, there was no ecofeminism, but today you can even find out ecofeminism in their novels. That's a matter of research, right? Kamala Markanday, Anita Desai, Kiran Desai, Jayanta Mahapatra, Arundhati Roy, Babani Bhattacharya. These are the writers who have raised this voice of women and voice of nature in their works. Okay, which are the post-colonial eco-feminist works? You can read these things. You find ecofeminism in Nectar in a Sieve. At the end of this video lecture, I have taken one example from this novel, Nectar in a Sieve. If you read Fire on the Mountain by Anita Desai, okay, if you read River Sutra by Geeta Mehta, if you read The God of Small Things written by Arundhati Roy, the award-winning novel, and novels written by Sohaila Abdul Ali, there everywhere you find the touches of ecofeminism in their works. Okay, now there are basically three types of ecofeminism. What are these three types? As you can see on the screen, number one is cultural ecofeminism. It is also known as spiritual ecofeminism, right? The second one is materialist ecofeminism, which is known as Marxist ecofeminism, and the third one is vegetarian ecofeminism. Now, what is the first one? Spiritual ecofeminism. Now, this spiritual ecofeminism gives more importance to the natural connection between women and nature as exclusive and unique, and supports the concept of Mother Earth. Okay, just as we respect our mother planet, Mother Earth, in the same manner, we must respect women, because women gives birth. Women is the symbol of fertility, right? So spiritually also, since ages, we have been respecting Mother Earth, and we must respect women also, right? So the femininity of nature has been discussed here. They argue that the traditional wisdom of preserving and protecting nature as well as respecting women should be practiced in our contemporary society, right? During Navratri, what do? We pray to the 9 goddesses, right? So we respect women and we must respect nature equally. So Vandana Shiva has described this cultural or spiritual ecofeminism in her book. Remember this title, Staying Alive: Women, Ecology and Survival in India. In this book, Vandana Shiva has written these lines. These lines are very important. She writes that forests have always been central to Indian civilization, right? See, we people are the civilized people living in urban areas, but actually we have come from the forest. Okay, so forests have always been at the center of human civilization. They have been worshipped as Aranyani, the goddess of the forest, right? The primary source of life and fertility. Forest is actually the source of life, the source of birth and fertility, and the forest as a community has been viewed as a model for societal and civilizational evolution. So evolution takes place from the forest, Okay, forest is a symbol of birth, of fertility. So we must respect forest. In the same manner, the women also do the same job. Okay, women are also the symbols of fertility and evolution. So that's why we must equally respect women and nature. So spiritual aspect of literature has been discussed by these eco-feminist people. The second one is materialist ecofeminism. Materialist ecofeminism is actually has a close relation with Marxist feminism, right? It acknowledges the impact of capitalist patriarchal structures directly on the marginalized genders, both nature and women. Nature has been marginalized by man, and women have also been marginalized by men. Okay, in order to gain richness, what do? We cut the trees, deforestation takes place, industrialization takes place, we establish new industries in order to gain richness in our life, but as a result nature suffers and women also suffer. Why? Because they believe that men have extracted the raw material, the land and energy resources from the environment, and this has created unequal societies during injustice to both nature and women. Man becomes richer, woman does not become richer, right? As per one survey, I have read the survey, as per that survey, more than 98% of the land on this planet have been registered in the name of man. Women are not the owners of this planet. Okay, hardly 2% of women have the ownership, land ownership on this planet. Now this is something very poor and surprising, and it must raise this idea of ecofeminism. The third one is vegetarian ecofeminism, right? Vegetarian ecofeminism, these thinkers, they strongly go against humans having power over animals, right? It refers to the exploitative use of animals for our food and for other materials, right? They are going against the killing of animals for food and killing of animals for some fashion industry, like for fur or sometimes for leather we kill the animals, right? In that process of killing the animals, again we are disturbing nature, and at the same time we are disturbing some of the professions of women. Why? Because women have been taking care of the domestic animals, right? And in this process actually you are attacking the profession of women. So this is all I wanted to tell you about the three types. Now let me before I end this video, let me give you one example how you can look for ecofeminism in the novels or in any other works of literature. I have taken this example, Anita Desai's novel, which was published in 1978, which won the Sahitya Academy Award, Fire on the Mountain, right? Here, what does the novelist present? Anita Desai presents the physical and mental abuse of three women, and at the same time oppression of nature. So nature has been exploited and oppressed, and in the same manner three women are also oppressed by men. In this novel, men are agents of domination, right? In patriarchal society, men are presented as more powerful people socially, politically, culturally, economically, right? Men stand for domination, men stand for hate and brutality, while nature and ecology in this novel have been presented as non-human, right, as subjugated women. In the face of extreme exploitation, the darker and the more sinister aspects of both women and nature are presented, are expressed and revealed throughout this novel. And that's why you can say you can study this novel from eco-feminist point of view. So in short, let me conclude by saying that ecofeminism aims to empower women and empower nature. Ecofeminism aims to restore the health of nature on this planet, and at the same time restore the social, economic and political and cultural status of women on this planet. So all in all, I hope the idea is clear to you. If you still have some doubts on this topic, do write to me in the comment section of this channel, and please do share this video among your friends and classmates. Thank you for watching. Thank you.